understanding how different populations of birds diverge from one another is really crucial to understanding how the world's biodiversity is formed and maintained over time. So in particular, I study the drivers of both speciation and reticulation. So speciation is the study of how new species are formed, and reticulation is sort of on the opposite end of the spectrum. It's when you've got these multiple species, usually two, sometimes more, that are just sort of homogenizing back into a single species. So I study yellow-breasted chats, which are this really fun, monotypic, enigmatic kind of enigma. So monotypic meaning that they're the only representative of their family. So their family only contains one species. Their taxonomic status has been up for debate for decades. We don't really know where they sit taxonomically. And this is troubling because they're monotypic. It makes it a little bit more difficult because they don't really have close relatives. So warblers, for instance, contain over 100 species, the New World warblers, and they've been diverging for about 10 million years or so. And they've diverged over that time into over 100 species. You've got yellow-breasted chats, on the other hand, which are about the same age. They're somewhere between 10 and 11 million years old, but they're only one species. There might be some population structure between populations of chats, but as far as we know, there is no sort of cryptic speciation actually happening in chats. And so when we look at the taxonomic tree or the phylogenetic tree, we see these different patterns emerge where you've got these really speciose groups, then you've got a monotypic species. And we see this big contrast in diversification rate between them, because you've got these birds that are diversifying rapidly, and then you've got these birds that aren't. And so I'm going to be using yellow-breasted chat to sort of study this pattern broadly to try to understand how this pattern is formed. How do we get speciose and then monotypic kind of right next to each other on the tree?